Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the Magic Square MS-B53C Night Tracer. Their take on a Legends scale Onslaught. And I did get this at Shows Store. I have a link down below where you can get yours. And TH, in the support your reviewer area, if you want to help me out. Now, I want to say that I'm excited about this. I'm excited about working on completing Bruticus in the Legends scale. And they've also shipped this one here. So we'll be looking at that one next week sometime. But even more exciting is I just found out Sunday in the comments that Magic Square will be making a Masterpiece version. So this is a lot more relevant now than it was when I started setting out doing this. I thought I was just rehashing some of the old, but now we're actually looking toward the future. Anyway, we're going to get into this, and Friday we'll be talking about Brawl. That's coming as the first part of the Masterpiece version. But right now, let's look at this Onslaught coming up. All right, and the box, very simplistic, no plastic anymore. They copied Hasbro, and then they probably won't go back though, because they probably like saving the money, and most people open these anyway. Here he is out of the package, and he looks really good. Very exciting that not only are we going to be getting this right now in front of us in Legends, we'll probably within a year have this in Masterpiece. And one of the things I've been kind of saying, but more or less just keeping it to a minimum, was that the Zeta, I didn't like the way the Zeta ones looked. And this is super cartoon G1 look to it. It looks great. And their designs are awesome. You know, the only downside really is that they don't have a lot of paint on them. And we can argue back and forth about all that with combiners and paint scratching and paint rub. But this one actually has some good application to it. So looking at it, this is cast in green, that's cast in gray, that might be gray paint. That's cast in blue. Then there's some gray accent paint there, green here. So it's not without paint apps. It's just, for the most part, mostly bare plastic. And that's what most people's biggest complaint about Magic Square is. But looking at it, it looks pretty good. And on a shelf, it's going to look great. And the fact that the design is pretty much what I want. It's a slightly more heroic than the cartoon, but mostly does match the cartoon very, very well. But with that, all the modes always look good. He looks great. Let's look at these couple of accessories he comes with and move into a few other things. He does come with a gun. It's green. No other paint apps. It's a little shiny. Not too shiny. Backpack is not removable. It's part of him. In the G1, it was removable back in the day. And no, I'm not breaking my G1 out. I do not have a good enough G1 to compare it. Does come with these filler pieces for the legs, and he has a nice chest piece. But none of that's really going to be usable in the bot mode, so that's it for accessories. But really, I only care about this, for the most part, in combined mode, but it's really worth appreciating and enjoying all the modes. Articulation on this guy, head side to side, goes up to way up, and not much down. He's got quite a bit of range and articulation in that shoulder. Of course, the 360, a bicep swivel at the elbow this time. And is it double jointed? No, but it goes past the 45. Hand is just one chunk that moves back and forth, and it goes out for transformation. Then the typical Magic Square over hyperextending for his weight ab crunch, and for whatever reason they always use this for the transformation. Legs go out to about here or past that, and you know, a good transformer when they can do a high kick on their own and stand there completely unassisted. Now if I try to move it, it probably will tilt, but those are good joints. That's a good figure. Yep, that is good. He's got the thigh swivel. He's got the hiding the hip flap situation. Get that out of the way. Hiding the hip flap situation, and goes up quite a bit like that. You've got to bring down the hip flap if you want it, and then double jointed knee, and ankle rocker, and everything you need in an ankle. Alright, so here he is with Megs and Prime 2.0 and Hound. All these are Magic Square, and I think they all look great. And the one thing I want to say is that this Megs is painted, and I like that. The painted Megs. But I wish they all had that level paint, and I would probably have no complaints about Magic Square except for a little over complex on the transformations, but we'll get into that here in just a second. So getting a transformation, I'm trying to keep it on camera here, but it's maybe I'm a little too high. So we're going to start with the arms, and we fold this out. We're going to pop open this panel, flip it around. So the goal here with this panel is to cover up the, I've got in the light, cover up the two, and then we flip this around to reveal the wheel. So we're going to have the wheel revealed. We're going to pop this open, and we should have that in place. We can do the same thing on the other side, is to pop this open, flip this around, cover up the, cover those up, fold this to the inside, fold this to the outside. Not sure why that's not going in. And then I'll put this one out. So we're going to be something about like this. That's wrong. It's all supposed to be the same color. There it is. That's how that's supposed to go. And fold this around. Now, let's get this backpack opened up. And then we're going to form all this stuff for the front of this thing. Let's see here. Now we're going to kind of explode out all these parts and pieces. Let's fold up the windshield, the side door pieces on each side. That's going to fold around. This here is going to fold out. Then we're going to build some wheels. Building the wheels. And then we're going to have to more or less construct all of this cab section here. So we can fold this over, start tabbing all that in. This is a double joint here, so we got to kind of get that just right. And then this top, the hood tabs into the arms there, makes a solid connection. The front tabs in, the sides tab in. And once you start tabbing it all in, there's a mushroom tab right here that's going to make it really solid. That's really solidifying pretty good there. All around, you want to make sure these wheels are out, laces out, wheels out. And we got that going, and we can get this set up. Now this here goes up, and then there's a little piece here, I guess, that goes down. So that's where we're at. Now we're needing to get into the lower legs, which are quite interesting themselves. Basically how this is going to work is that the lower legs pop up, and they, well, we actually need to spin the waist. Spin the waist. And they're going to more or less go all the way over here. So all the covering for this, but we need to fold this up to make the room for it, and then we have to transform the rest of the bottom. But that's kind of the whole long and short of how it's going to go for this. And then this opens up. Let's slide this down and then fold this piece here that disconnected. This comes up, and then we're going to bring the foot in. I feel like I'm not getting it all on camera. Bring the foot in like that. This folds down, this folds on top of that. Then the heel spur comes in, and then this goes and rests in there. And then this is going to come around this, and there's a tab. There's a whole series of tabs that's going to be going on here in just a bit, but we're not quite to all of that just yet. Now this lower piece here will come out, slide around, and then there's other piece to extend and fold this over. And this is where you're going to start getting into a lot of tabbing. And make sure all the tabs are lined up so that you can tab all of it in. Tabbing, tabbing, and then tabbing on the top. And we got to get clearance on this. Got to like push the hips in or something to get some clearance here. Alright, so I guess that's going to have to work like that, but it is not all 100% wanting to tab in there, but the challenge is we'll just overcome it and make it happen. Let's get back over here to this mushroom tab. Goes into here. Like once you get that in, it should pretty much all tab in now. There's nothing to back it. There's nothing to go for it to go up against. So I know why they use the mushroom tabs, but all right. Let me get this off screen a bit. There it is. Theoretically, I should be able to show the other side a little bit better than that. So let's do the other side. Open this up, flip this down, make the gap, or I guess that's up. Make the gap for it to go around this, and then we are going to flip this piece up. We have to disconnect it from there and fold the back piece down, and then fold in the foot, and then fold the toes. Let's get up here. Fold the toes down inside there. There we go. And then the heel folds in, and then this folds down on top of it, and then this closes up. Theoretically, that should close up just fine. Mushroom tab. Wow, that looks like a giant mushroom tab on this side. Looks like too big of a mushroom tab. Alright, let's try that again. There it goes. Oh, it fit. Okay. Now we are going to come around to the side and move this into here. Just move it around it, which it is what it is with the moving around of things. Oh, we didn't slide this. It's got a slider on it. Let's get back to the slider. Slid that, fold this around, and then this piece comes out and around, and then the extension filler piece needs to come out, and then we start with the tabbing, and then get that mushroom peg into there. Once that mushroom peg's into this whole side just kind of tabs in really well. This is where the problem is, this mushroom tab. So I had to go off camera to get that mushroom tab in with this. I'll try to do this on camera right here. Not sure why that is the hard part. There it goes. Once that's in, then everything just tabs in. For the most part. And then we're going to come down here and we have another mushroom tab that is of some issue. So we can start tabbing this stuff in. And there's another mushroom tab there. Tab all this in. And then this comes down on top of it. And for whatever reason, this one's not wanting to tab in. So I will tighten all this up and then we'll come back and look at it. But that should just go. Brute force. Make it happen. There, brute force did it. Now there it is. There's the transformation on that bad boy. I didn't say it was going to be easy. And I didn't say it was going to be fun. But let's have a look at it. Alright, here it is in the alt mode. And it rolls. And it looks good. And it's fine. One thing I want to say, it's like they went out of the way to make sure that this double gun has a lot that it can do. And even though there's kind of a gap here, it's not really that off-putting. It looks pretty good. I mean, it is a pretty good version. And just look at that long old trailer. Probably should have turned the head around, but I don't display my alt modes like that, so it's not a problem for me. This thing it's a lot of work to get there, but it's just impressive what they did. The engineering with Magic Square is pretty good. It's a little overly complicated at times. Nothing broke. Everything's holding in place, tabbing in really well now. After I used the patented brute force maneuver on it, it all tabbed in just fine. So I feel like I have to do that with a lot of Magic Squares. But you individually articulate these guns however you want. And you can have it look like that. Or I like kind of symmetrical. But yeah, it's a pretty cool mode. The wheels have some silver on them, but you can also see the pins, and you got some black. Looks like it should be translucent, but I don't think it is. Pieces right here. They do look like windshields, though. They don't look like they're just painted cartoony. It looks like a real windshield, maybe jet black tinted. The 95%, which is not legal in most states. Still, they're not worried about that. Right, so here it is compared to a G1 now. This is why I didn't have it in bot mode. This thing is in rough shape. I have my good one in combined mode, and I am not breaking down any of my G1 combiners. It's just too much of a hassle, and then getting them back together and back in place and stood up. But you get an idea of size and scale with this junker I got laying around, and hodgepodge of parts that I've kind of assembled on this junker, so that you can just kind of get an idea of what they did with G1. So it's not quite as long as G1, but really the cab's almost the same size. So if you look at the cabs, very, very similar in cab size and that kind of stuff. And so it's really close. I wouldn't want it as long as the G1. I always thought that was absurdly long, and I'm sure if you want to, you could fold that up for the G1 if you have, both legs. Anyway, let's see what it does compared to Legend. Let's compare it to one mini bot. Okay, let's compare it to two mini bots. Let's compare it to three mini bots. And can we get a fourth in there somehow? Not really, but yeah, there we go. That's how it compares. I do want to show it does actually have weapon storage. I think it's just literally intended to put right here, because there's a spot. There's also a spot here, and kind of like the vintage one has a hole in it to put on top also, which I think I got a G2 cannon on a G1 figure, but weapon storage, always good. Now for his combined mode, we're going to do a lot with this thing, but we're going to start with untransforming all this stuff for the legs. So let's get into condensing down the legs. So we're going to reverse transform this into, I think you can equally do it depending on if you want to go from bot mode or alt mode. I'm obviously in alt mode, but we're going to untab all this stuff that we worked so hard to get tabbed in so well. There's mushroom tabs, all that stuff. Okay, get all that untabbed, and we're going to do one fun leg at a time here to get this into the combine mode. Now, one of the things we want to do is fold this back down, condense this down again. That's going to fold down. This is going to fold down into here. And that condenses down, and then this all folds down. We have to re-extend this piece as we are folding all this back down. And that's one of the legs sort of starting to get there. And then we are going to do the same thing on the other side. We'll come back to the legs in a bit, but we have to re-transform the top pieces. So we have to untab all of the work that we have done up here, pull that in, and we're basically going to put the cab back into itself as it once was. We can leave the arms up though. They'll do some crazy stuff, but we are going to put the cab back away, flip these back into here, fold up. That's all folded back up. It's all pretty much going to be back like it once was. Flip this up to make the space in the cavity. Make sure those are straight as you're putting it back in there, so that it all is going to fit. All right, let's go ahead and fold these wheels in. And then we are going to set this up. This is going to be kind of strange. I'm going to pop this out. And we're going to rotate these to where we have some tabs on the inside. Pretty much we want the green on the outside. It's pretty much what I gather with how this is going to go. We're going to lift this up, and there's going to be now green to the inside. I don't know, I'm like obsessed with the colors, I guess. We want the hands, the fists to be up in this, and then we're basically going to be folding them to the back. So we're going to lift it up, and it's going to fold to the back. Like that. There we go. So however I got that one. Folds to the back, and then we can tab them together. Like so. And then these are going to fold back in on themselves to create the space. But this is just the beginning. I guess we could fold the hands around to make a little bit better clearance on this. Then the backpack, we are going to actually open it up to reveal the larger pieces, larger cannons, but we're still going to leave them open for the most part. Because when we collapse we get the legs in place and we collapse the cannons all together, then that's going to work. Now we come down here to the legs. We're going to fold out the heel spurs. And then we are going to rotate this to where there's like a joint in the middle of the thigh. So we're going to rotate to where this can come up, and we can start connecting this. And then we have a tab that needs to come out. So this tab on this backpack comes out. And then the backpack, you want to bring it up. And a few things are going to happen. The heel is going to go in the notch. The backpack's going to tab into this. Right here. Backpack slot into this hole. And then heel into this notch. And that's going to close up. And then tabs into the sides of everything. Just trying to make sure I got stuff lined up so that we can tab it all in, and we can do it all again on the other side. Just quite interesting because it looks like the wheel forms the rest of that circle there. And then this is really tight right here. Really, really a tight tab to get into that hole. I'm gonna give it some force. There it goes, there's the wheel, there's the way. Okay, we can go ahead and do all the same stuff on the other side, and I'll be showing that one more time. Again, let's see if I can see, because this has a tab that tabs into this. Everything is tab-tastic. And then this goes into here, and really to get this tab is so crucial. And look how, there we go. Just give it that force. And then we're folding this leg up again. So I didn't fold it correctly. Then we're folding it on this joint. It's coming up and tabbing into the slot. The second one's always easier. The first one is already holding the structure together. I say that, and then the hips pop out of place. Then we fold this up into its place, and I think we're there. I think we're there for combined mode overall. Then we have two more things to do. Here's my look at Onslaught, and it took a lot longer than I thought to do this. I'm going to go ahead and weapon store this, but coming along okay. Can't wait to get this thing combined. It's a good figure, looks good at all modes, lives up to Magic Square. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I did get this at Showsy's store, and I'll have a link down below where you can get yours. Also, while they still have in stock, 'cause I know they're out of Brawl, and now they're moving on to Masterpiece Brawl, so we're going to see how that goes. And let me know in the comments below. We'll talk more about it on Friday. Hideo Hanger out.